YouTube, what up? Right now we got Boruto's return change, Boruto vs. Kawaki in a major way that you missed. I know what, shout out to Naruto Explain, that's who I'm reacting to. You know, he's a phenomenal YouTube and I listen to him daily when I be at work. And I'm really just piggybacking off his video, and I thought about this topic. I already know what he's gonna be talking about based off the thumbnail, you know what I'm saying? And well, you know, Ada, she's feeling Boruto, you know what I'm saying? You know, that's what it is. So that's just another female to the stable. And I'm just interested on what he's gonna say about it. And I can't wait for the next chapter to drop. And that's my own, man, because it's my first manga where I'm experiencing the whole thing from where I gotta wait until another chapter drops. And then I gotta wait for the anime to come out. And then I gotta, you know, I don't know how they're gonna do with the anime because they were doing Boruto Next Generation. I caught on to that like at the very end, like where it was a new episode each week. So this is my first time. I got on Naruto, just to give y'all a little recap, I got on that shit late. I started watching Naruto when I was 22, I'm 24 now. I became a real fan, like I'm a huge fan of Naruto. You know, I'm not like, I'm not rocking the headbands and shit like that, you know, but I'm a real deal fan. And yeah, that's the case. I just wanted to let y'all know that. So this is my first time having to wait, and it's unpredictable, and I just can't just watch through it or go through it like I could previously. So it's kind of frustrating, but I respect it at the same time because this probably what y'all had to go through growing up. So let's go ahead and get to it, man. Y'all like the video, man? Like the video, drop a dollar on my cash app, man. I appreciate it. Y'all like the video, man, for sure.
Alongside her younger brother, the battle-crazed Rugrat named Damon. The story's been laying the groundwork for the inevitable moment where Ada would get her hands on the one thing that she always wanted more than anything else, her opportunity to meet with Kawaki and be given the chance to win over his heart. However, longtime viewers of the channel, you all know that one thing that we've said over here is to not discount the potential of a swerve and the allegiance of Ada's heart, because the narrative also opened up the door for her to look in the direction of Boruto Uzumaki as far back as their first conversation with Code. After this latest manga chapter for Boruto 2 Blue Vortex chapter 8, we now have to consider the...
And we know that she's gonna pull up on, I don't know how she's gonna get in, well, I know she can see through everything, right? She can find anybody with a Shinrigan, if that's how you pronounce it. But, you know, we don't know her of having any ninjutsu or anything like that, so how the fuck she gonna get to Boruto? How's she gonna get in contact with Boruto? So that's the main question I have. And also, what chapter is it gonna be? Because, you know, we got a lot of shit going on for the next chapter. You know, possibly Himawari getting kidnapped, being questioned by Jura. Even though I'm really like, okay, what the fuck Ada finna say to Boruto? That's what I really care about. You know what I'm saying? I know Boruto ain't finna knock off Ada, but it's just a figurative of speech, you know what I'm saying? Like, my nigga chopping down these females, you know what I'm saying? But that's probably gonna happen like in 2 or 3 chapters. But how the fuck is she gonna get in contact with Boruto? That's the question, you know what I'm saying?
The possibility that Ada's allegiance towards Kawaki, it might be in danger, and she might be willing to form another alliance with Boruto. And so in today's video, we're going to be looking back at the signs leading up to this moment and discuss the impact of the turn itself. And it's actually going to be the latter that we need to start. Now, longtime viewers of the channel, you guys know that I've done my fair share of Boruto and Ada videos in the past, mostly so I can poke fun at the Boruto fans and the Borusume fans. Came clear that Boruto was on the run. Everyone wondered, how was Boruto going to stay alive for such a long period of time where she could track him down with her eyes at any given moment? But the story in the literal next chapter, it took that threat off the table by revealing that due to her feeling guilty for what she unintentionally did by casting omnipotence and intentionally giving into Kawaki's demands to lie to everyone about Boruto killing Naruto and Hinata, Ada revealed to us that she would not help Konoha look for Boruto.
That was saying, okay, so how did she get to Boruto and Sasuke at this point? Because that's going to be the reason how she's able to get into Boruto's presence again. Because, you know, this is when they left the village and shit like that, and Sasuke had to listen to Sarada and rescue Boruto, and they had, you know, so how did she get to this point. So she's probably gonna do that again.
Or Sasuke, even if Kawaki or Shikamaru demanded that she do so, unless Boruto ever returned to Konoha. Their treaty had a very important condition on it. As long as she never returned, Boruto could sleep a little easier at night, knowing that if he ever got caught, it wouldn't be because Ada led everyone straight to him, but instead it'd be because Boruto himself made a mistake along the way. However, the moment he returned to Konoha, the treaty was over, and true to her unspoken words of their agreement, which it should have been self-explanatory, Ada began assisting Konoha wherever possible, letting them know where Boruto was and giving updates whenever asked. It would be through all those moments that she watched Boruto that she would find herself doing what she did in the last chapter, which is positioning herself. As we discussed in the video,
Bro, the anime gonna be super hard, bro.
on Mitsuki,
Man, that shit
I
gonna be
love
crazy.
Kawaki translation was due to YouTube guidelines. I couldn't title
That
it
thumbnail was
so
crazy.
Mitsuki in Spanish and in the French translations of the story is asking Ada, does
Boy,
she
that nigga is
know why she loves
hilarious.
Kawaki? And it's through her conversation with Mitsuki and her hearing Mitsuki's conflict, knowing that whatever he's associating with Kawaki is really how he feels about Boruto, and her knowing the truth and seeing how, despite Boruto being an enemy in Mitsuki's eyes, their bond was strong enough that it led to her wanting to have another conversation with Boruto, because she saw the love of their bond. It had been doing something that should be seen as impossible, breaking through omnipotence in a way that was not logical, because everyone's minds of Boruto and Kawaki were switched. For someone like Ada, who spent most of her life wanting to experience what it meant to be loved, truly loved by someone who wasn't part of her family like Damon, she had been looking for love in all the wrong places. Her ability forced people to love her, but it wasn't the same thing as a genuine connection. It's merely a quick dopamine hit for her, and when you get so many of them back to back to back each day, it doesn't hit the same, which is why she sought out people who were immune to her power. True Love's first kiss was now True Love's first Otsuki, the only non-relatives who would be above her control power in terms of how to sway hearts. Linked to Amato and Akabe and Delta. That whole situation straight out of Astro Boy. But her initial reason for falling for Kawaki, it was always suspect when you go back and you look at the details of Ada's character. It's something I've been stressing for, 3 years now? Why did she fall for Kawaki? By her own words, it was because of the moment she saw Kawaki trick Ishiki with a shadow clone and kill him. She said it made her heart race in a way that it never had before. Translation, her panties got wet. She's someone who has the ability to see everything that happens in the present, so long as you don't shrink yourself like Kawaki did using the Sukuna Hikona. And she said most of the things she saw, it made her incredibly bored, to the point that she loses interest rather quick as a result. Kawaki offered her excitement in the form of an experience that she'd never had before, and that's what drew her in, just as often is the case in the real world. You can be this dashing, handsome super Chad with a witty sense of humor. You can have all the money that you want. You have all the status that you want. But at the end of the day, and this is just based off of my experience, but it's just that experiences that you offer to the woman that you're with and the memories that you create. It arguably goes further than some of the surface level things that fade away over time. You're not always going to have money. You're not always going to be attractive. You're going to age and your appearance is going to change. But what you offer that is intangible and the way you make someone feel, that goes a long way.
But youngins, I know there's a lot of young people, you know what I'm saying, that's, bro, if you get right. You know, when he talking about you get older, yeah, that's absolutely true. But some old niggas, OGs, I know they still in shape. They still swole. So strive for greatness, my guy.
Long way. Boruto being the good guy next door, she viewed him as attractive. She pretty much said as much when she's speaking of code, but Boruto was safe. He was the boring guy that you had next door that you didn't take seriously. And for someone like her who is continuously bored, Boruto was not the first option for her, which is why Kawaki intrigued her all the more. It's the classic example of nice guys finish last when it comes to the bad boy getting the hot girl early on in life. Yet despite this, the narrative, it kept planting this very subtle seeds to not discount Boruto at any point. As she spied in on Kawaki during,
And that's very true. The good guy finished last. There's some truth to that. Like, a lot of niggas early on in grade school, middle school, high school, all the hoes go for the nigga who's getting in trouble, skipping, things of that nature. And the one that's on his books and preparing to be successful, he's usually the one that gets everything later on in life. Um, uh, that's a real thing. A lot of hoes had kids. Now I'm saying because I'm gonna post this on a different channel, so I don't know what my audience is gonna be. So I'm really putting y'all on game. But y'all focus on y'all books, and I promise you, y'all gonna get everything y'all want in the future. A lot of hoes gonna have kids, and ironically, they're gonna think their value is even higher, even though they had kids. You know what I'm saying? By most likely bullshit niggas. So that's another discussion.
Her alliance with Code, where she's looking for the right opportunity to say, hey, go get Kawaki, dude. Her eyes, they wandered over to Boruto more than once, and most famously, you had that moment that was captured very well in the official English translation, which is ironic given the Mitsuki debacle that we just went over a couple of days ago. But when Boruto stated it was his duty to protect Kawaki, Ada followed the old gag from the 80s and 90s shonen tropes to the T, where she got all worked up and hot and bothered as a woman, and she's covering up her face, in particular the nose. And she did this when she said that what Boruto was doing so hot, and the undertones and the lettering that was used, you can draw the connection there. And we saw the sweat that was on her face as well. Then we began discussing the cohabitation in the Omnipotence arc and some of the things that were being said by Shikamaru in there. We had a moment where it was placed upon Boruto's shoulders that should Kawaki drop the ball, when it comes to raising up Ada, it was expected of Boruto to carry out that mission to make Ada fall in love with him and be happy enough to help out the village. This inevitably led to the moment where Ada tried to let Boruto down nicely, and Damon, basically being the savage that he is, he went, dude, you're too ugly for my sister, which it sent Boruto fangirls out to pitchforks, because they said, how dare that little smush faced twerp say something like that to Boruto when this kid is barely potty trained and still drinking from a milk carton and through a straw instead of a glass, and he has to take naps on his sister's lap. How can this kid say anything about Boruto? Yet it was again a small nod planted that if Kawaki...
And I don't like the Damon character at all. I don't think I ever said that, but I don't like Damon at all. Like, he a youngin'. He hasn't aged a bit in the time scale. It probably would have been different if he would have had an actual age difference. If he would have got bigger, taller, whatever. This nigga the same height. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, what the fuck is this? Like, bro, I don't like Damon.
Kawaki screws up, or if something pushes her away, she would be going into the direction of Boruto. When we go further into the Omnipotence arc, after she realized what happened and Kawaki caught on, Kawaki didn't just ask her to lie for him by saying that Boruto killed Naruto. He directly threatened her by grabbing her by the shirt and staring deep into her eyes. There was an unspoken set of words that he would kill her if he didn't go along with it, and it paid off the foreshadowing of what Code said, which is that if you find yourself alone with Kawaki, he will kill you. And Kawaki did not release her until she told Konoha everything that he wanted. Ada, she went looking for love in all the wrong places, and she found herself with a bad boy who's so damaged that he wasn't going to be fixed overnight or even one or two goodwill gestures. When she goes off to see Boruto, even Ada admits that she was wrong about Boruto, openly questioning if he was still a 12-year-old kid, because he was taking the whole situation a lot more maturely than she expected him to. She realized it without even having to say it to us manga readers, is that she had misread Boruto's character. This Boruto who returned taller, and he has more of an edge to him now than before, and he doesn't give off those nice annoying kid next door vibes. This Boruto has seen some stuff and he's been changed by it, but the one thing that has never changed about him is the way that he has not stopped loving those who he cares for, and she's seeing in real time how he's slowly winning back the people who were taken away from him. She's seeing him give others the love that she's always wanted, but she's never truly had or experienced. It's why she was happy at the prospect of a friendship with Sarda and class rep. We're seeing a very classic lonely heart in Ada suddenly seek out the waters of love from somewhere else. I do think that's going to play a role in her forming another alliance with Boruto after they have another conversation and after she's had time to see how much Boruto's changed and contrast it with how much colder Kawaki has gotten. While I do ultimately still believe we're going to be in a situation like we were with the story in regards to how Masashi Kishimoto admitted everything back in 2015 when he promoted Boruto the movie. I think Kawaki and Ada is going to be a very similar situation to Naruto and Hinata. So for those of you guys who don't know, back in 2015, one of the things Kishimoto said is that he decided on the pairings for the Naruto couples and everything midway through the story, much to the displeasure of his wife, who, on top of looking like Sakura, according to Etro Oda, one of Kishimoto's best friends, but also.
But anyways, yeah, Ada, she's gonna fuck with Boruto, and that's gonna be another alliance for Boruto and Kawaki. He just slowly gonna lose everything that's been repeated many and many times. You know what I'm saying? Cause he doesn't understand the position that he's in. He's also young. And he's gonna get pushed to a wall again. He's gonna do something fucking crazy as hell, and I can't wait to see it. And I can't wait for the next chapter, man. I wish it was a weekly chapter, but it's a monthly chapter, which is it's smart because it got niggas like me who just joined the Naruto slash Boruto fan base, and I'm already itching for it. So, fuck with y'all the next one. Y'all be smooth, man. I'm out of here.